All right. We saw Florida battle last week. Listen, Florida's got that upside that if they play, especially defensively, if they hold on to their butts, they can still battle in the SEC. But you can't throw 5 interceptions and have a touchdown call back on a holding penalty and expect to compete with a team like LSU.
Yeah, who are you gonna trust, me or your lying eyes? I hate this. I mean, because I'm with you. Miami's been great. I mean, they beat Notre Dame. They're like, oh no, look out, South Florida. Oh no, they just drop kicked that without a problem. Carson Beck is still underappreciated.
I think he's winning the Heisman. I honestly do.
I think he might be the number one pick in the draft.
I totally agree. I think he's winning the Heisman Trophy.
This team is for real. It is Miami, and they always seem to find ways to gack it at some point.
Yes.
And I'm not going to say they're going to look ahead to next week's game against Florida State.
Well, they have a bye, so they get a week off.
But
I think they dropped the hammer on Florida this week. I honestly do. The line's about 7.5.
You know what? This falls. I'm with you. I can't. Miami's looks too good. I'm not buying into Florida at all. I'm not buying into Lagway. And it's, you know what happens with Florida like this is like when they do have those games when they kind of play well, like the Georgia game last year where you're like,
and
like wow.
last week when they were in that game for most of it.
And then they're not. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, you're in this. And then all of a sudden it's like, oops.
It feels like they emptied the tank last week. Like they were fighting for Napier last week. They still came up short. I don't know if they can do it 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, and it's especially in a game like this. But you're right, that defense, again, we talk about how you can't lose a game. You can't obviously look bad either because Texas and LSU, you have the head coaches going crazy because they're getting asked about their offenses because the defenses they're playing are pretty good. Florida's defense is pretty good, but I think like I said, go with Miami. There's part of me that thinks this is where Florida shows up, but if they show up, it means everything clicks. That Tennessee game, I think it was last year, was a shocker where they just came out and said enough is enough and they looked great. Yeah, it's there, but I'm going to go Miami and just give away the points.
I'll make a bold statement here on the show. I think Miami is a legit national title contender. I don't think it's ACC stinks. We should downgrade Miami.
Yeah.
I think their offensive line is legit. Yep. I think Beck is as good as it gets. I think their running game is solid. They've got elite receivers on the outside. I agree with you on Cristobal. In a tight game, he has tight sphincter syndrome sometimes. But I think the offense and Beck kind of cancels that out a little bit.
It does help when you have a quarterback who's as good as that, and with an NFL offensive line. Like the one thing if you might dog Cristobal about something, that dude knows how to coach offensive line.
Oh, they've got their. I was doing their film study this week. Their right guard and their right tackle. Francis Mayaga, right tackle, right guard, Inez Cooper, 6'6", 350. I think both those guys are first-round picks.
Yeah, not just first-round, top 5 maybe. I mean, they're that good. I mean, so I think it just depends. We know what's the total on this sucker? Because I can't imagine 51.5. It's not a lot, but
no, it's pretty low. If Florida's defense quits, I think Miami could drop 40 on this team easily.
I don't think Florida's defense quits.
I wouldn't be shocked after they played. I mean, they forced LSU to punt 7 times.
Yeah, but they could. But that defense could quit, and the final score could be 30-7. So
it's a good point.
So I'm going to just flat. You're right. Make a stand, son. I'm going to say Miami give away the points and under on this 51.5.
Yeah, I think Miami is probably one of my favorite plays of the week. I think they're making you pay that premium on the 7.5, and it's going to deter some people because it's SEC versus ACC, right? Everyone loves the SEC. I get that. But I felt like Florida emptied it last week. Like they heard all the doubters after the USF game, and they rallied, and they played well. Like honestly, if it wasn't for the turnovers, they probably win that game. But I think Lagway, the lack of practice time, and the fact that I don't know if if Florida can get to that level again in a consecutive week, it feels like the snowball effect for Miami's offense might be the factor here.
Yeah, definitely. So it's going to be a fun one. And that's going to be the one we're going to watch because you look at the late afternoon, late evening games. It's not a lot of star power there. I mean, you have the late night Michigan State USC game, which is going to go till 3 a.m. East Coast time, but. Everything else, that's going to be the one everyone focuses on, and I think that will get the attention. I think you are going to get a Miami team that's going to step up and show itself. So